Listen, these texts, let's look at right here. What does that mean? Next victim, star pitcher for the Dodgers. That's text 1. That's kind of bad, Lindsay. What is that? I mean, I know you're saying this is no context, and I'm sure you're being sarcastic. I'm guessing. I mean, but what the hell does that mean, next victim? In the next text, he says, I need daddy to choke me out. Then the third one, it says, being an absolute whore to try to get in on his $51 million. Please, what question do you have for Lindsay?
I don't have a whole lot of questions. These text messages are incredibly concerning, and it doesn't really feel like something that should be joked around about. Were you granted a restraining order?
No.
You were not granted a restraining order because, okay. So I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to call you a liar because I don't think that that would be appropriate. But what I will say is that if anybody ever accuses someone of something so horrific and it's not actually true, that would be the most disgusting thing, because this man's career has potentially been completely destroyed. His future has been completely stained. And that is very bothersome to me as someone who is a DV victim myself, a DV survivor, as well as my daughter is also a survivor of a horrific thing that we came out of. And I was myself accused of something that I absolutely did not do, and that was horrific in itself. It caused trauma and it caused PTSD, not just to me, but to my entire family. And now a lot of that is out in the open, and it's brought that trauma back all over again of what I went through in my marriage with my abusive ex-husband.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Comic Crow, and this is a case that absolutely pisses me off. I believe we've talked about Trevor Bauer a while back in one of our live streams. It wasn't a huge segment. But essentially, Trevor Bauer was falsely accused by the woman in that video of sexually assaulting her. And when I say falsely accused, I mean legitimately falsely accused. These text messages that were leaked are bad, okay? And you can make the argument that they were taken out of context. And I understand that, right? But when she put forward her story, he tried to sue her for defamation. The Dodgers, because he was a star pitcher for the Dodgers, boot him off the team, so he sues her for defamation. She countersues him for millions of dollars, okay? But prior to any lawsuit, she contacted him and told him he needed to pay her millions of dollars. Because if he didn't pay her millions of dollars, she would tell everybody that he had abused her. Now, we see the messages, okay? And we're going to watch a bit of this video that Trevor has put out on Twitter. But in this video, we find out something that pisses me off to this extreme level, okay? Trevor Bauer was a star pitcher for the LA Dodgers, okay? And they cut him out. They got rid of him because of this woman. And because media outlets ran with her deranged story. Because all it took was the accusation. You know, it makes me angry because of how many people will lie, all right? We did the live stream talking about how Cat 10 Barge and that idiot Matt whatever we're going off about how, oh, people don't believe victims, that society is just primed not to believe them. And it's frustrating, right? It actually makes me angry to think about. Because I can point to countless cases of men who have their lives ruined and destroyed over a simple accusation because of women like Cat 10 Barge, because of men or whatever like that Matt guy, because of media outlets like the Washington Post, who do not give a shit for checking the facts, who do not care if there is evidence. They get off on destroying people. And they tried desperately to destroy Trevor. They took away his career. He had to leave the country. He left the country because the only place he could play baseball, a sport that he loved, that he dedicated his life to, the only place he could go to was fucking Japan. And look, I love Japan. Okay, I think it's a great country, right? No shame on anybody there. But this guy could not play for the MLB because of a false accusation. He had to leave the country, go to some place he had no understanding of because of this woman. She tried to get a restraining order against Trevor. And the reason why this is important is, we talked about it with the Amber Heard thing because people went off about, well, Amber Heard got a restraining order against Johnny Depp. That's proof. It is ridiculously easy to get a restraining order against another human being. It is actually very simple, okay? Because there is almost zero burden of proof to get one. She couldn't get it against him because she has anti-evidence. She has anti-evidence. She has evidence that she was chasing after him for his money. He has evidence that she was attempting to extort him for money. But what makes it worse is this woman has a videotape of her minutes after she claims that she was beaten to a pulp, laying down in his bed as he is sleeping peacefully, smirking into a camera. And this video she sent to a ton of her friends. Her lawyers had this video, and they refused to turn it over to the court. That is how corrupt this entire thing has been. They had evidence, they had proof that he was innocent, and her lawyers buried it. I'm going to read this statement, and I'll actually play it from his video, but I will link his video so you can watch it in full, because this gross, disgusting piece of human filth is trying to go around and claim, this is a victory for me. There are people on social media who have their heads so far buried up their own asses that they are claiming, no, he's guilty. He's guilty. There's proof. This is all out of context. She claims that she was beaten to a pulp, and we have video evidence, right? Metadata, timestamps, evidence that she tried to withhold from the fucking court, that she blasted out to everybody to prove that she slept with him, of her smirking into a camera shortly before leaving his apartment. Were her lawyers aware that she withheld evidence? It appears her lawyers had the evidence the entire time. Speaking specifically about the video of her laying in bed next to me with no marks on her face the morning after she claims I brutally attacked her, an email containing that video was sent to her attorney, Brian Friedman, before the DVRO hearing in 2021, and it was never turned over to us. They had this for 2 fucking years. They had proof he had done nothing wrong for 2 fucking years. They destroyed his career, they destroyed his life, and they tried everything they could to extort him for money for 2 fucking years. Let this be a lesson to you. Anytime they try and claim, oh, nobody believes accusers, I'll be clear. This is why I am so against believing women. Okay? This is why I am so against it. Because at this point, when I see cases blow up over social media, when I see cases never go to the police, more than 9 times out of 10, they are just fucking false. It is women exactly like this, either attempting to destroy someone for money or for fame or because they are just deranged. And I'm done. I'm so done with this idea that we cannot go after women who do this criminally because, then we'll silence accusers. You know what? Fuck that. Because at this point, you've tipped the fucking scales. You have enacted so much evil by allowing false accusers to put forward bullshit claims, destroy people, destroy their fucking lives, and face no consequences for it. The amount of evil that has been tolerated under this bullshit idea that, if you punish them, then an actual accused, you know what? Nope, done, fucking done. You have an actual claim, take it to the fucking cops. You're not going to do that? If it can be proven, okay? If it can be proven that you were lying, if we have evidence that proves that you were lying, you should be arrested. You should be thrown into a prison cell. And you should fucking rot. If this woman went to his apartment and stole $10 million from him, she would be in a fucking prison cell. She would face time for doing something like that, as she should, as anyone should. But because she went the extra step of also trying to destroy his entire fucking reputation and extort him for $10 million fucking dollars, well, then that's okay. Bullshit. Abso-fucking-lutely not. It's time we took a stand against false accusers. It's time we punish the people who abuse our fucking goodwill. Enough is fucking enough. Let me show you this video, okay? There's no, well, this could be taken out of context. No, absolutely fucking not.
On the morning of May 16th, 2021, without my knowledge or consent, of course. In it, you can see her lying in bed next to me while I'm sleeping, smirking at the camera without a care in the world, or any marks on her face. I think it paints a pretty clear picture of what actually happened the evening of May 15th and why the video was originally concealed from us.
They buried this evidence. They lied to the fucking court while openly extorting him for cash. They went to him multiple times, telling him all he had to do was give her money and it would stop. All he had to do was pay her money and she would shut the fuck up. She belongs in a prison cell. She should be fucking rotting in a fucking prison cell. And now listen, I like Alex Stein, okay? He had her on for an interview. He trolls the fuck out of her, okay? But I appreciated that he actually made it serious by bringing on somebody who was an actual victim of domestic violence to call her disgusting and gross ass out. And now he's joking, he's laughing and everything, but it's so frustrating. It is anger inducing that someone like that could just go around, okay, after everything she did to this man. Now, the reason why this is over is because after she failed to get the restraining order, after they finally had it revealed that they were hiding evidence from the court, that's when her lawyers came back to him and said, okay, we'll settle. You stop suing her. We'll stop suing you. And you can, and we'll turn over all the evidence that we were hiding from you. We'll turn over all of her text messages to you. And he demanded that he would not be silenced and he would be able to tell his story. Otherwise, they would have swept it under the fucking rug. This woman is disgusting. This woman belongs in a prison cell. There is no two ways fucking around that. Okay? And because of the Me Too movement, because we scream believe all women, because you have gross, amoral people who still to this fucking day lie as they defend a well-known domestic abuser and sociopath like Amber fucking Heard. We need criminal charges for women that do this and for men that do this. But here's the problem. It's primarily a female thing. It needs to stop. It needs to be fucking ended now. The amount of evil we are letting people like this woman get away with because, we're so afraid of the unknown, completely anonymous person who doesn't fucking exist, that we're terrified she won't come forward with her story. If we punish the multitude, the hundreds of women that do this every fucking year with no consequence, enough is enough. Enough is fucking enough. And it shouldn't just be the women that make these false accusations. It should be the people that knowingly cover for it. Like her fucking attorneys who buried evidence. They should go to prison too. They belong in a fucking jail cell too. You guys, you let me know what you think in the comments section on this one, okay? Because I know I'm speaking from the heart here, okay? I've said this before. Members of my family when they were children, were the victims of a predator. Members of my family, when they were children, were victimized, and they had to go to the police as children. So I am done with the idea that grown fucking women can't do it. I have no more respect. I'm done caring. I'm done pretending to care. And we all need to be on the same fucking page. If you believe that actual accusers will not come forward because we punish false accusers, you know who's at fault? It's not me for wanting them to be punished. It's them for fucking lying.